Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make are marbled chocolate muffins, or I guess you could call them two-tone chocolate muffins if you prefer. So let's get started. First off, we're going to start off with 2 eggs that have been at room temperature, and I'm going to beat them. You don't have to beat them for very long. Now you can use your hand mixer for this if you prefer. And I'm just going to break up those eggs. The next thing I'm going to do is put in 6 tablespoons of oil. Now use whatever type of oil that you prefer. I like to use sunflower oil, but of course use whatever you want. We're also going to be putting in a generous amount of milk, which is 1 cup. And you can put just a little bit extra with that milk. That was 1 cup, being very generous. The next thing we're going to put in is 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and we'll beat that in. Okay. Now, also to get the dry ingredients ready, you'll need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll need 1 tablespoon of baking powder. That was 1 tablespoon. You're going to need a pinch of salt, and I'm going to just stir this with my spoon. And then you're also going to be putting in a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and stir that into the dry. Okay. Now once you do that, we are going to put, of course, the dry with the wet. And we'll just do a little at a time on very low speed. Now you don't want to overmix or overbeat these, because again, you don't want your muffins to become very tough and dense and heavy. So I'm just going to turn it up just a little bit the speed and make sure everything's come together. And as you can see, it doesn't take very long at all. Okay? And now I just want to take my paddle out of here, get rid of my excess. And then I'm just going to finish up by mixing it with my spatula. And I'm going to show you what the batter looks like. All right, there we go. It's quite a smooth, silky batter. Now, once you do that, then what you're going to need is another little bowl or container. And you're going to take half of that batter out of there and put it into another bowl. And you can kind of get an idea when you're scooping it out what a half is of your batter. Okay? So you have half of it divided into one bowl, and you still have your other half, of course, in your mixing bowl. Okay. Now, the next thing that you're going to need is 2 tablespoons of unsweetened baking cocoa. So I'm going to put that in, and then just start stirring that, folding it in. Again, don't overbeat it. Now what I find at this point, the unsweetened baking cocoa makes the batter quite thick. So I always have a little bit of milk on hand just to drizzle in. And you know, it might be a couple teaspoons, it might be a tablespoon. It's really going to be up to you to check the batter. You don't want it to be real thin, but you want it to be workable so that you can stretch this chocolate batter. I'm going to put just a little bit more milk into that and just stir that in. So that looks just about right. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin either. Okay? All right. So we'll put that excess milk away. Of course, it's going to make you 12 marbled muffins. I have the liners already in my pan. And what I like to do is I start off with vanilla. So you can actually use teaspoons. I'm using a small scoop, just I'm not filling it, of course. And just put that on the bottom of the liner. Just, it's probably, you know, roughly a little over a teaspoon that I'm putting in. Okay? And then you're going to switch off, because what you're going to do is you're going to alternate. So you're going to put then the chocolate on top of that vanilla. And the same thing, you know, I would say you're probably putting in a, you know, half a teaspoon or a little bit more. You know, you'll be able to judge it. And then, you know, once you do, of course, all your 12, you know, just keep building it. Where, in other words, you're putting in vanilla, chocolate, then vanilla, till, you know, all your batter is used up. I'm just doing 4 here to show you. And then even at this point, you can use a toothpick or whatever. I just like to just give it a little swirl from the sides to the center, and then pull out my little stick there. Okay, then again, you know, build up your chocolate, and then I'll put vanilla, and you get the idea. You just keep alternating it till it's all used up. Okay, and then I generally like to finish with a vanilla, a little dollop of vanilla on the top. So it's a little bit time consuming, this part of the recipe. Otherwise, you know, it's so quick to put together. And then when you know that you have them filled, then give it one last little swirl, or you know, a little turn of your toothpick like that, and place these in the oven at 400 degrees, and they're going to take you anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. I like starting mine, checking mine about 12 minutes or so, because as we do realize, all our ovens set up so differently. When they do come out of the oven, though, let them sit in your muffin pan for just a couple minutes. Then take them out and put them on a cooling rack. Now, I have some to show you what they look like and when they're baked up. And this is how they will come out. They really do come out very pretty. They bake up extremely high, okay? And I don't know if you can see how pretty the two-toning or marble is. I'm going to take off my paper here. Mine are still a little bit warm, so they're going to pull off a little bit differently. And I'm going to just cut one in half to show you. They are very light in texture. They're not dense or real heavy bread-like muffins. They taste really great warm or cold, with maybe a little butter or jam, or just eat them plain with a cup of coffee or tea or that kind of thing. And they really bake up to be pretty little muffins, which are marbled, and they'll be marbled all the way around the sides, and they come out so cute, and they are, well, great tasting little muffin. So there you have it. I appreciate you watching. If you try the recipe and you like it, well, leave a comment, because I'd like to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon.